Official.streetsmarks@gmail.com is how you want to contact us. Listen to us right here exclusively on YouTube, Street Smart Audio. Or fuck with us. Official.streetsmarks on SoundCloud and IG. Street Smart fan page on Facebook. Street_smarks on Twitter. ECW Memories. Courtesy of PWInsider.com. Neckbeard. Nice.
What up, MBZ?
This is the week in wrestling history as we see fit. February 5th, 1994, ECW held the night the line was crossed at the ECW Arena in Philly, featuring the famous three-way dance for the ECW title. Recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 49.
I remember that.
Let's see if you remember the results. 911 versus Chad Austin. Who won?
Chad Austin. I mean, 911. I was thinking Mikey Whipwreck in my head for a second.
Mr. Hughes versus Sal Balomo.
Mr. Hughes.
Pitted with the struggle walk slam. Dog collar match. Goof and Hack versus Rebel and Pitbull.
Oh shit. Rebel and Pitbull. Who fucking won that match? Rebel and Pitbull.
Incorrect. Goof and Hack. Fucking Goof held down Rebel with the chain and they got the win or some shit like that. No rules. Public Enemy versus the Bruise Brothers.
Oh shit. Bruise Brothers.
Incorrect. Public Enemy won with a 2x4. Snooker versus Dreamer.
Snooker.
Kevin Sullivan and the Tasmaniac versus the Sheik and Pat Tanaka.
Oh man, that one ended in a schmoz, didn't it?
The Sheik threw a fireball to the back of Taz. Tanaka got the schoolboy for the win. One of the first negative infinitive.
I feel kind of ashamed and shit.
Mike Awesome versus JT Smith.
Oh, now that one I do remember because Mike Awesome almost broke JT Smith's back, and then they showed it like 1,000 times after that. JT Smith won that match.
Still eating out here.
Yeah, you're welcome, JT.
Terry Funk versus Sabu versus Shane Douglas. Who won?
Oh my gosh, that one ended in a freaking time limit draw.
Correct.
Yeah, because that pissed me off because I wanted to see Terry Funk get his shoulders pinned to a mat. 1, 2, 3, like a jobber should.
February 6, 1975, Giant Baba and Jumbo Saruta defeated Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk for the NWA International Tag Team titles in San Antonio, Tejas, ending the Funk's third reign.
Good job to Sal Balomo and whoever else you said. Well fucking done. That Sal was wrestling 19. Oh, Giant Baba. Same thing. And Jumbo. So we had Giant and a Jumbo. It's like looking at a Arby's menu or something. Anyway, so yeah, good job to that. In 1975, so the Funks had to be what? Dory was probably 70, and Terry was what, 65 or so. Sounds about right.
Courtesy of PWInsider.com, Neckbeard, this nice
Manisi
he did not put the hyperlinks correct, so there is no February 7th information for you.
Oh man, you had one job.
You have two jobs, Neckbeard. You continue to be a neckbeard.
Oh man, what's this fedora fall onto the keyboard or shit? And when he was typing it out and shit, or is it the barbecue sauce from his chicken wings? Made the keyboard sticky as shit. What happened, Nick Neckbeard? What? What happened? What happened, Neckbeard? You know what I'm saying? You drop a loaded baked potato. All right, no, I'm sorry, man. You my dude, man. I'm just fucking with you.
February 8th, 1986, WWF held an event at the Spectrum in Philly. The results as follows. George Scalin pinned Ron Shaw with a sunset flip. Pedro Morales pinned Rene Goulet with a reverse roll-up.
In relation to Le Moulet.
Hercules Hernandez pinned Scott McGee after a backbreaker. Corporal Kirchner, holy fuck, these are jobbers.
What year is this, 86?
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
I know Hogan was on this fucking card. Corporal Kirchner pinned Iron Sheik after reversing an attempted suplex into an inside cradle.
Who did he job to? Corporal Kirchner?
Yeah. He's like, look. So you got your A USA superhero on Hulk Hogan, right? Then you got the B, the B-Town USA guy in Sergeant Slaughter. Corporal Kirchner is the C-Town USA superhero guy.
Oh, Milwaukee, Wisconsin's own. Or Lodi, Indiana's own Corporal Kirchner.
And the Sheik job to him.
Bowling Green's own. Who was this around the Duggan scandal with the weed and shit, or
2 years prior? That happened in '88, I believe.
Okay, yeah. Damn.
Adorable Adrian Adonis with the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, pinned George Wells after a DDT.
Whoa, the 1984 George? Oh, no, that's Orson Welles. Never mind.
The Junkyard Dog pinned Terry Funk.
Yes.
With a small package.
My brother, you know what I'm talking about? Eating out cheer before JT was eating out cheer. Well done, JYD.
WWF Tag Team Champions Brutus Beefcake and Greg Valentine, known as the Dream Team, with luscious Johnny V, defeated the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid, when Beefcake pinned Dynamite.
Well, I was listening to you read off all these wrestlers' names, and it's like you almost have to say pause each time.
Pause.
You said Luscious and Beefcake, and what's the other nigga's name and shit you said? Oh, Adorable Adrian Adonis and shit, yeah. Disclaimer, no homo.
Dangerous Dan Spivey
There we go. Dangerous.
pinned Iron Mike Sharp after a Bulldog.
Okay.
And in the main event, WWF champion Hulk Hogan
Oh, there we go. Well, let me tell you something, brother.
defeated King Kong Bundy with Bobby Heenan by disqualification after Bobby Heenan interfered.
Hulkamania running wild, just like me, but to run wild on his Corona. My Corona.
February 9th, 1982, the Midnight Rider, the suspended Dusty Rhodes under a mask, defeats Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in Tampa, Florida. However, after the match, NWA President Bob Geigel demanded that the Midnight Rider unmask. If Rhodes revealed it was him under the mask, he would be banned for life. So he refused and instead gave up the NWA Championship, which was returned to Ric Flair. The first Dusty finish.
I was just about to ask you, so that was the first one. That is the first. Wow. Now, I could see how that would give creation to a very own genre of finishes and known as the Dusty finish. Huh. Yeah, that's what a cheap freaking way to keep the belt on Flair.
February 10th, 1973, Terry Funk defeats Johnny Valentine to win the NWA Missouri heavyweight title in St. Louis, Missouri.
This motherfucker has wrestled in every decade. Did he wrestle against Frank Gotch in 1890? Was he there at the frickin' Tennessee State Fairgrounds and shit next to the mustache lady and the nigga with 6 toes and shit?
The Canaanite.
Yeah, you Motherfucker with two heads and shit. Terry, how is that possible?
Also, in 1984, the Yellow Rose of Texas, David Von Erich, passes away at only 25 years old in Tokyo, Japan, in a hotel room during a tour with All Japan Pro Wrestling. His cause of death has been widely debated. Ric Flair said in his autobiography that he died from a drug overdose, with Bruiser Brody flushing the drugs before authorities arrived to cover it up. However, David's brother, Kevin, world-class referee Danny Manning, and Gary Hart on both Big Vision Entertainment and WWE's world-class documentaries, as well as the official autopsy report, say David died of a myocardial infarction, heart attack, due to acute enteritis, swelling of the small intestine, with the enteritis causing an intestinal rupture. David held All Japan's NWA United National Heavyweight title at the time, and David memory, World Class would hold the David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions at the Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas on May 6th, at which Kerry Von Erich won the NWA World Heavyweight title from Ric Flair.
Oh, nice.
He only held it for 18 days.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Because he was not responsible as champion.
Oh, so he did it to himself.
Yes, he did.
So was that the first Von Erich domino to fall?
That was the first wrestler recognized Von Erich to fall. Jack Atkinson Jr. died at 6 years old.
No, that's not funny. That's not funny.
In a pool accident, he got electrocuted in a pool.
Damn.
I'm going to go on record and say I forgot to get him to be able to get Fritz a promotion. Because Fritz wasn't that big of a draw to buy into his own promotion. Okay. Fritz, I'm sorry. Okay, Fritz, when it comes to the annals of the NWA, was a guy who fought the NWA champion when they came to Texas or whatnot, but never would become the champion. Okay. He was always a bridesmaid. He never drew like in different territories, you know what I'm saying? Because that was the reason why you became the NWA World Champion, because you could draw in different territories. Fritz couldn't draw outside of Texas. Okay, he had the foreign heel German shtick, you know what I'm saying? But once World War II shit ended, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Once the xenophobia of Germany ends, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So now we're into the Russian foreign heel gimmick, you know what I'm saying, because of the Cold War shit, you know what I'm saying? Mm. So Fritz has this outdated gimmick, okay, and all of a sudden he buys in to the territory that was owned by Bosch. So he carved out his own territory in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and didn't venture north because that was owned by Leroy McGurk and Bill Watts.
Okay.
He couldn't venture west because that was Amarillo and that was owned by the Funks. And also the Blanchards. He couldn't venture southeast because that was Houston, and Houston was owned by Paul Bosch, and he couldn't venture any more east because he would run into Alabama. He would run into Louisiana, which was still ran by Watts, but he would also run into Alabama, which was ran by the Fullers. Okay, so he has this small concentrated territory. Okay, how it had to be cheap for him to buy in. So I believe that the first death, because they were all fucked up circumstances, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Jack Jr. died in a pool accident. All right. Kerry fucking died. He got a shotgun blast to the face.
Ouch.
Mike overdosed on pills. Chris overdosed on pills. David ruptured his fucking intestine. And then all of a sudden, after David dies, they run this big fucking show in Irving, and they draw like 25,000 people to see Kerry get the belt from Rick. And Rick is the more dependable guy because he can make all the towns. Rick always made the towns. Kerry can't make any town because he couldn't even make the towns in Dallas and Fort Worth. He couldn't even make those towns.
Oh, wow.
He'd fall asleep in his car. You know what I'm saying? They would have to, and this was recounted by Jim Cornette in his shoot interviews. So, you know what I'm saying? This is not hearsay. They would have to draw the maps and tell them the exact addresses, you know, for the Von Erich boys to show up at the shows. Because if it wasn't the Sportatorium, which was in Dallas, they didn't know where the fuck it was at. How the fuck did Fritz get into the business? How did he become a promoter? It doesn't make sense to me. Moving on.
Well, he was fertile, and I guess he had some kid. Well, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The son of promoters always get, you know, nepotism pushes and everything like that. But for them to fail so spectacularly, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kerry, Kevin, and David should have been in New York. But Fritz thought he could take his podunk territory and expand it nationally. He had two cities. And maybe he could use them to draw in St. Louis when they did the big shows in St. Louis at the Kiel Auditorium. But they sent David to Florida to work heel because he couldn't work heel in Dallas, okay, because they loved the Von Erichs. And the only other place that he was accepted was Billy Graham's territory in Tampa. And they were going to make him the world heavyweight champion. Wow. Made no sense. It made no sense. But
wow.
Whatever. February 11th, 1969, Dory Funk Jr. defeats Canada's greatest athlete, Gene Kiniski, in Tampa, Florida for the NWA World Heavyweight title. Dory Funk would go on to hold the title for over 4 years before losing it to handsome Harley Race. Pause.
No homo. 1969, it's unfortunate because, for one, 69 is my favorite number. For two, Dory is a funk. So just once again, I am just amazed that these doggone funks, like, no matter where you look into wrestling history, from 1890 to 1990, you will find either Dory or Terry Funk. And I wonder who did their... Well, I guess their father, who was probably born sometime in the 1700s. I wonder which funk got sacrificed so these two fucks could live 300 years and shit. Because it's obvious that they are dying because they look like shit. But they just so happen to be near immortal for whatever reason. It's weird.
Also, February 11th, 1996, WCW held Super Brawl 6 at the Bayfront Center in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm not going to say the results of the show because the show is more memorable for one reason. Kevin Sullivan, ECW alumni, defeated Brian Pillman in a strap match in which the winner could only be declared when the other wrestler said, "I respect you." After a minute of fighting, Pillman suddenly stopped the match, took the microphone and said, "I respect you, Booker man," and walked out. This was part of Brian Pillman's shoot work in WCW to establish him as a loose cannon, referring to Sullivan's real-life position as head booker in WCW, and then walking out of the match. Arn Anderson came out and took Pillman's place in the match, but after a few minutes, Ric Flair came out and convinced Anderson and Sullivan to stop fighting.
Nice.
Stay tuned, because Brian Pillman is also an ECW alumni, and when we get to 96, this will all play out.
Oh, double nice.
And that is This Week in Wrestling History as we see fit. There's obviously more news and history tidbits for you, but you can go to PWI Insider and holler at the Neckbeard.
Shout out to Neck Beezy.
And on that note, the Extreme Retro Review, just for you, in a few. Peace.
Peace.